Okay. Okay, so do you guys remember yesterday when we read The Youngest Giraffe and we talked about how the giraffe learned how to drink water even though it was really hard? You guys remember that? So you guys also said that he never gave up. So in this book called Obstacle Course, the girl tries to complete an obstacle course that is really hard, and she sometimes doubts herself. Have you guys ever heard of an obstacle course before?
Like Ninja American Memorial.
Like what?
Ninja American Memorial.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where have you heard of it?
I don't know. I just heard of it.
You've heard of it? What about you, Katie? Have you ever heard of an obstacle course?
Yeah.
Where have you heard that?
Like,
You know how, like, in gym, when you play that game from one end to the other, you have to get from one end of the gym to the other without touching the floor? What is that called?
For lava.
Yeah, it's like lava, right? That's kind of like an obstacle course. When all these things or obstacles are in your way and you have to get through it. That's what an obstacle course is, okay?
you gotta hang with something for like only like 4 to 3 seconds.
Yeah, you only have a certain amount of time, okay? So let me show you how this book works. In this book, there are characters using dialogue or talking to each other in the book. So when you read these parts, you're going to want to sound like the character. So let's try this. Go ahead and look at page 2.
Do you like to sound like them?
Yeah, you want to like read it with expression like the character, and I'm going to show you what that sounds like.
that.
Do you guys see those little marks?
No.
These little marks, they're called quotation marks. That means someone's talking. So where it says, "You can do it," said Dad. Do you hear how I sounded like the character? "You can do it," said Dad. You try it. Follow along. You try it.
You can do it, that said Dad.
Everyone, go ahead. Thank you, Christian. Good job. Everyone try it.
You can do it, said
my
Dad.
dad.
Right? And then the next line, that's someone else talking. "Maybe," I said. You try that next line.
Maybe I said.
So do you see how it goes back and forth between characters talking? So just pay attention to that whenever you're reading, when a character is talking, okay? Go ahead and turn to page 5. Yep, it's just the next page over, page 5. In the book yesterday, remember when we saw that bold word, Christian? Remember when we saw that bold word, still? And the line read, "He still couldn't drink the water." Right? And we talked about when a word is bold or a little bit bigger, you kind of put a lot of expression or a stress on the word. Do you see a bigger word on page 5 that looks a little bigger? Point to it if you see it. Yeah, so that word says could. How would that sentence sound then if you want to stress the word could?
It says,
You can do it.
could.
Right? You put a little stress on that. So let's try that. Wow, I could do the rope swing. You guys try that.
Wow, I could do the rope
Do
swing.
you hear how you put a stress on that? I could do the rope swing. Try it one more time.
I could do rope swing.
Try it, I didn't hear you. Could do the rope string, okay? So whenever an author has a bold letters or bigger words like that, they want you to put a stress on it, okay? So as you read today, I want you to think about how the girl works really hard to go through the obstacle course and the lessons she might have learned, okay? So you guys can go back to the beginning and start reading, and then as usual, I'll check and see who's your okay, thank you.
Obstacle course. This obstacle course was coming way hard. You can do it, said my dad. Maybe I said if I could. Took the wrong road side. Is too hard for me.
Can I show you something? I noticed that with some of these tricky words, you sounded it out and you remembered that word from our book introduction. we talked about obstacle. So I want you to keep sounding out those tricky words, okay? Sometimes I notice that with here, you're skipping over some words. So let's look at this. I kind of skipped over that. Let's read on and see what makes sense. But as the rope swing is too hard for me, what could that word be?
That I took.
So like, does that make sense? Go back and try it. Does that make sense? It's too hard for me. Does that make sense? Okay. What else could work there?
Talk.
But I talk the rope swing is too hard for me. Does that make sense? What is that first sound? Kind of like the, right? So what's that first sound? Keep reading the
too hard.
Does that make sense? So whenever you're not sure about a word, keep reading and then go back and try a word and see if it makes sense, okay? Just reading yourself. Can you read a little bit for me?
I jump. Jumped up. This is jump up.
Kind of looks like that, but when you put the ED ending on, I jump over the tires. That could make sense, but that means she had already done something, right? When you put that ED, that means like in the past. So I jumped over the tires. Try it.
Jumped over the tires.
So when you see that ED, it sounds like a ED. So try it in the next one.
I climbed. Do it, said my dad.
Through.
He gave me the time. Great big. I ran to the finish line. I know you could do it, said my dad. He gave me a gift. Big. What is this?
Great.
Great big smile.
So, Christian, you know what I'm noticing, and I told you this yesterday too. You notice when words don't make sense, and you go back and you try it again. Sometimes I notice that you kind of look up and check and see, like, is that right, or like I'm not sure. I want you to start looking for yourself and go back, like you did here. I ran to the fish, and you kind of looked up at me. And then you went back and you tried it. So I want you to always do that. Always go back and try it again. And try something that would make sense. And you did.
He said fish, and I saw lines.
Right.
He said fish, and I knew it said sense. So I said finish and line.
So keep doing that as a reader, okay? So every time you get to a word and you're like, that makes sense, go back and try something else, okay? Good job. And keep reading yourself.
I'm done.
So go back and read, okay?
I
Can you
finished.
read a, good. Can you read a little bit for me? You can go back to the beginning if you want to.
Let me read by you.
Sure.
I jumped. I don't know.
So right away, you're noticing that that didn't sound right. Right? So that ending, I know it looks like jumped. Jumped.
Jumped over the tires.
So try that ending with that one.
I
Crawled.
through the
Think about what could make sense there. What do you see?
I don't know what that is.
It's a tunnel. So what could that be?
Tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I ran to the finish line. I knew I could do it, said my dad.
Keep reading.
He gave me a great big smile.
So I notice as a reader, you notice when words don't, when it doesn't sound right. Like you stopped here because you're like, I know it looks like that, but it doesn't sound right. And that's what readers do. They notice when things don't sound right when they say it. Okay? So when you get to a word like that, always go back and reread and you can sound it out. And that ED is really hard. It kind of sounds like this, but it looks like ED. So this is how, let me show you. I know there's a lot of words on this page, so just ignore all the words. What does that say?
Dumped.
Right? And that's what ED sounds like. It sounds like you just put a T on the end. Jumped. Right? I know it looks kind of weird. Let's see if we can find another place in the book. Let's try this one.
Looked.
You got it. Does that make sense? It kind of sounds like a T sound, right?
Yeah.
Good job. So whenever you see the ED ending, now you know what that sounds like. Looked. Good job.
But that's happening now. That happened now.
Yeah.
That's happening now.
Or are you saying like because it's...
Hey, you're still working.
Yeah, they are. Good job. Okay guys, let's come back together. So I asked you to think a little bit about how the girl worked hard through the obstacle course and the lessons she might have learned. So why don't you guys talk amongst yourselves a little bit about the lesson you think she might have learned.
I think she had strength. I think that she's brave because at first she said she couldn't do it, but she did.
I think at first that she was afraid, but then she wasn't. Like at the first part, it said like she didn't seem like she could do it, and she said it was too hard, but she didn't even try it.
I think she has strength because as she was kind of thinking that she couldn't do it, she still did it and did every obstacle and then not fail.
So what lesson do you think she learned then?
The bravery that Katie said.
I know. So you think like she learned how to be brave?
Yeah.
Do you think like she overcame a fear?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever experienced anything like that before?
Yeah, because there was a big cockroach in my old house before, because my mom had to live with my dad's mom or something. And they were huge. They were just big black ones. And I was afraid of them. I was climbing on my mom.
And did you overcome your fear?
No.
I wouldn't either if it was a big bug like that, so I understand. What about you guys? Have you ever experienced that? Like, have you ever had to overcome a
I
fear?
was actually 2 days ago. I was snowing. There was a big hill, and I wanted to try going down with this thing, and I was so scared until I did it.
And then
I was so much fun. I did it again.
exactly. So you overcame your fear, just like the girl did in this book. She was kind of afraid of the obstacle course, and then she tried it, and she was like, "Oh, that was kind of fun."
I came from heights. I came on my fear of heights.
Good for you. Right? So same thing, right? So we can all kind of relate to that lesson,
It
right?
was like this mod I went to before. It was like really huge. It had like 3 levels, and then like it was like this one that's all the way up to the top, and then like when you look down, like we're so high up to the ceiling, like it's really scary.
Yeah.
I used to go to the left because the windows and like the stuff was right there to the right, so I used to be scared to look down. So I used
Okay, I'm going to show you guys something before I let you go. Go ahead and turn to page 6.
Hey, I used to do this.
I noticed that when we're reading, a lot of times we're not paying attention to endings or we're forgetting to look all the way through the word. So I want to try this together. Okay, look up here. Look at the first sentence, okay? That second word is kind of long, so when I get to a word like that, I want to slow down and look all the way through the word. That might be a place where I point to make sure I get all the way through that word.
Which one?
And then I can stop pointing. So let me show you what I mean. First, I crawled under the net on my stomach. Let me try that again. I crawled under the net on my stomach.
I
Do you see
crawled
how
under neck and stomach.
Do you see how I looked all the way through that word to make sure I was getting the ending of that?
Yeah.
So I want you to do that when you read. Let's try it in another place. Go ahead and turn to page 8. Not quickly, because I want to make sure you guys have time to go back. And look at the 1, 2, 3, 4th line down. And I want you to try that sentence and look all the way through that 3rd word. He was, try it by yourselves.
He
Try it even though all all the way through. You read all the way through that. You try it.
What?
Right here, that word. What's that doing?
He was waving too.
Did you guys see how you tried that? I heard all of you slow down at that word and look really carefully all the way through the word.
I look at picture.
So with good, and that pictures can really help us make sure we know what that word means, and it helps us make sense of the story. Okay, so anytime you see a word that's kind of longer, slow down and look all the way through the word so that you know you're reading it. Okay. Okay, great job today. You guys can go ahead and go back to your seats with your book. Okay.